wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. This is the Talk Beat Jones. Morning, this afternoon, whatever time you have an opportunity to watch us, be with us, participate, we're happy to have you. And wonderful, I think it's a wonderful time to talk this morning on the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. Remember, you can watch us every Sunday live from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You got that Roku box. You got that Amazon Fire. Is that the Fire Stick? And also Electra, huh? Alexa, hey, you better get me right because I'll be calling the wrong woman's name and I'll be in trouble, at least in terms of that speaker. But at the same time, family, you can prepare to call us. The numbers will be on the screen shortly, but I just want to speak for a moment and let you know that TV 33, Cable Channel 91, we ask that you call your friends and your family and all of the other persons. You got Facebook, maybe. Pull it up, or put us on. Maybe I should try it myself. But this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I'm talking. I want to get you ready to rock and roll and let your heart speak. Let your mind just kind of roll out this morning, this afternoon. Whatever your feelings is, it's your time. It's a Talk Beat Jones. What is Jones? It's an addiction, family. It's an addiction. And when you want to talk and you got that itch to you and you just say, I need to talk to somebody. Well, I'm here. Call me. We'll talk on the Talk Beat Jones. And if you got a beat, that means that you may specialize in sports. You may specialize in public speaking. You may jobs. Whatever. That's your beat. Let's talk about it on the Talk Beat Jones. And I want to thank Mr. Henry Tyler, Mr. HT, the Executive Vice President, General Manager, the person that trains everybody, and also he is a repair person. That's right. When equipment goes down, guess who they got to call? Mr. HT. Mr. Tyrone. No, I ain't calling him. And also, I want you to do this, family. I'm going to give you some names of some people that I believe should be nominated as black heroes and should be celebrated as well. Some you know, some you won't, but we'll do it that way. You may want to bring out some for yourself. But we're doing these things to try to motivate you to think outside of just what is regular spoke about, or people who you're always going to speak about when it's black history. But as I mentioned, black history is 365 days out of the year, and we celebrate them. And sometimes we have people that speaking about who is the best athlete in this particular sport, and you have to realize they're talking about from the people that they have seen. But I'm going to give you some people who are actually the great one, the greatest of the great. Then you say, well, why are they saying they're the greatest? And I ask the question, well, if they're the greatest, then why are the ones that I'm going to say is the greatest hold all the records that these great ones are trying to catch? Huh? I'm going to need some help. I know I'm going to need some help. So before I get too far into this, I'm going to bring on someone that can help me this morning, as well as you, guest hosts. And I want you to be a guest host by calling, and let's talk on the Talk Beat Jones. And so with that, let's see who is. There he is.
In living color.
In living color. Flashing it out there, sir. Want to introduce yourself?
I am the one, the only, the inimitable Thomas A. Wilson, Jr., as I signed my letters to the editor.
You write to the editors?
Yes. I had a letter in the paper, I think it was Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article that was in the paper on the front page of the Free Press.
Wow.
About former Mayor Kilpatrick and his chief of staff, Christine Beatty. And basically what I said in the letter was, we've been through this before. And I let them know I didn't read the article. I says, but let's leave it in the past. As Bob Seger says, turn the page.
I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
Some things you just step away, leave it alone. Family, as you mentioned, Kwame Kilpatrick, I want to start off with a salute for the Dingle family, Mr.
Yeah.
John Dingle.
Yes.
And what I've learned in listening to folks talk about Congressman Dingle is that he was truly a great person, a great man of the people. And when I say of the people, I'm talking about people that got that complexion like me and you, as well as other folks.
Yep.
But he was, Tom, you want to speak on because you are from the area that he served, Detroit, et cetera.
No, I didn't. I'm in the 14th district.
I mean, but in terms of being in Michigan.
In Michigan, I don't believe I was with John Conyers, was a congressman person. And
No, what I'm speaking of is his work.
Oh,
period.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
not put into a segment, but his work in general.
Yeah, but and in general, I mean, this man's, in terms of his work, he has touched literally everybody in this country.
Yes, that's what I'm
In
speaking
terms of the legislation that, he got passed. I believe it was for the Medicare and stuff like that. And, so, God bless, us for, John Dingle being born and that kind of thing, because, who knows where we would be today had he not been there to do what he did that was for the overall benefit of everybody in this country, especially retirees.
And for that, we salute the
Yes.
family, the legacy of John Dingle, congressman. Always will be the congressman. In honor of Black History, we want to celebrate a few modern-day black males that have paved the way and made a great sacrifice for our youth and our country. Regardless of what you think of some of the people, they have made their mark. So let's go with Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson, any comments on Jesse Jackson from you or from you, sir?
Well, Jesse was there in terms of Dr. King before Dr. King, was assassinated, and then even after Dr. King was assassinated, he didn't ride off into the sunset. He stayed out on the forefront and, fighting for civil rights. And
Okay, we're going to keep each comment kind of short because I got a long
All right.
list. Dr. Martin Luther King gave his life and fighting for the sanitation workers of Memphis, but he gave his life actually fighting for everyone, because that's just happened to be where his life was removed from the earth. But the spirit and the energy and the drive continued, and it still goes on today.
Yep.
Not as strong, not as great, but it's still going on. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Some folks say that there was another person there also in baseball with great sacrifices, because the man had the spirit, the fire, and he kept that within his own civilized self to be able to go through the barriers. But did you know that Jackie Robinson had an older brother? In fact, did anyone know that Jackie Robinson had an older brother? Did you know?
All I ever knew was Jackie Robinson.
Let me tell you this. When we talk about the reports, the news, and our history and what we are shown and taught on a constant basis, did you know that in the year that Jesse Owens won all of those gold medals, the person that came in second place at the Olympics was the brother of Jackie Robinson?
And thank you for the educational moment.
Hey, sometimes we get bright.
Yeah.
Joe Louis, Jesse Owens, Muhammad Ali, Magic Johnson, Jordan. Just to name a few that have did some things, and of course, Army General Colin Powell,
Yep.
Spike Lee, he's doing some activism stuff right as we speak. Denzel Washington. Now, ladies, when we mention the name Denzel Washington, don't fall and start doing the thing like you used to do for Tom Jones. Go there and start throwing your stuff. Just the thought of Denzel Washington. Sidney Poitier played a big impact, had a big impact on my life. We were taken to the movie theater, and he was playing Othello. no. It was the cotton company. No, the picture was with the cotton. They showed the cotton. It was him. My God, Billy, I have gotten the name of the picture, but you know, no,
No,
that was
no.
no, that was Harry Belafonte. Uptown Saturday Night. Okay, thank you, bro. I knew that somebody would help me. How about How about our own outstanding man of his time, Mr. Coleman Alexander Young?
Yes,
Okay. Uh, how about our own number 44, Mr. Barack Obama?
definitely, definitely.
And I have the fact that we have these two guys joined at the hip, Mr. R.J. Watkins and Mr. Henry Tyler.
Yep.
I have now the man that you see behind me on the poster. That's Chuck Johnson, Charles Chuck Johnson. Google that man, and you will find who is the pioneer in the communication, television, and movie business. And I was with him when we went to visit the MTV Studios office years ago, and they verified to me that MTV was copied after the presentation of Mr. Chuck Johnson and Soul Beat. Now here is a situation. These two gentlemen. When I throw out the name Wilt Chamberlain, sir, what do you think?
The Big Dipper.
The Big Dipper. And he became the Big Dipper because why did they force him to do the dip instead of the slam?
You know, I mean, he was dunking the ball. That's why they call him the Big Dipper.
And do you realize that the basketball court, they changed the basketball court just to make it wider because there was no one that could actually stop Wilt Chamberlain as the game was played in those particular times before they widened the court?
Well, him and Bill Russell had some fights, though. I mean, they had some throwdowns.
Wait, I'm just taking this one at a time,
Yeah,
please.
okay.
Okay, but the thing about that is, this man could tell you, I'm going to lead the league in scoring, and he did.
Yeah,
The man says, I'm going to lead the league in rebounds, and he did. The man even said, I'm going to lead the league in assists.
Yep.
And people said, 7 foot, he can't, and he did.
Yep.
And this man was the person that one team traded almost the whole starting lineup, traded the whole starting lineup, the Golden State Warriors, or then it was San Francisco Warriors, traded the whole team to get Wilt Chamberlain. And then they want to know, well, who is the greatest? Well, if you take the whole team and trade me to that team, and you got scrubs and peons trying to play a ball game, and I'm averaging 50 to almost 70 points a game, and I can't win, but y'all won't tell me I'm not the greatest. Come on now. Come on now. And then we go through the fact of, before I go further, now you know they changed the game because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Right.
also,
Yep.
because he he could stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So he went to what? The skyhook.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it shows you how white folks was looking at how black folks was adapting to their game to be the very best, undeniably. And they said, well, we need to change the way the game is played because these black folks is coming in and our white boys, we can't do nothing with them. Now, we talk about Michael Jordan. Everybody's talking about Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yep, greatest of all time.
And I think that that's where the problem is, Tom, is when they say the greatest of all time, when they say Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, well, do anyone else have more than 6 rings in football? I don't think so.
Well, I know in football, no.
That's all I'm asking, is in
Okay.
football. However, in basketball, Tom,
Yep.
who has the most rings?
Jabbar.
I think you're wrong.
Okay. Won't be the first time.
No. I mean, that's what a lot of folks think.
Okay.
Because again, it's all about how we are watching the news, and these new sports writers, they're talking about the people that they say, they think, etc. When I say who has the most rings, I mean the actual championship rings.
Oh, it's Bill Russell.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Now, if Bill Russell has more rings than he has fingers and thumbs, am I true?
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
So now, if you are judging a person about how great they are and how can they win the championship, not just get there, but can they win the championship? And if Bill Russell, regardless of anybody saying, well, doing that, he was the greatest. And he actually won all of these rings. I won't tell you how many. If you're curious, Google him
Yeah.
and find out. And then tell me these little jive sports writers that want to puff all up and act like they're all tough. You know, back in the day, these athletes would have knocked them upside their heads to get out and tell them, get out my way. If you think I'm wrong about that, check some of the history of the things that went down with some of the athletes and sports writers. You'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying this to tell us that why is it that people who are recreating history cannot tell you the true facts? And if they can do that, Tom, in sports and shape the narrative to how they want folks to feel about what is the latest, greatest, and who was the greatest of all time, then you can say these persons are the greatest of their time, but they're not the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would sit down and go through a debate about Wilt Chamberlain being the greatest athlete of all time. Man, 7'1", he ran the hurdles. Can you understand a man 7'1" getting the starting blocks and running hurdles?
Man, 7'1", running. Period.
Running, that's right. And he also high jumped.
Yeah.
Okay, and can dribble that ball. So what is it that Wilt Chamberlain couldn't do? They never would put people with him that actually could play ball until at the very end when he was old. Okay, so anyway, I just had to get that out, and I say this because politics is another venue. And as people are talking about and they're remembering folks, Tom, I mean, do we have anyone today that could step in and be the next rookie that can move up?
I'm saying in terms of someone of the stature, and to make that comparison of a Wilt Chamberlain, I don't see it. Now this kid that plays, I mean, he's a kid to me. I could be his grandfather, and I don't say that to be demeaning or anything. But the young man plays for, is it Minnesota or whoever they call him, the Greek Freak.
Oh,
I mean, this guy's got. I mean, his last name has got about 12 or 13 letters in it, you know. And but if he keeps going the way he's going,
yes, he's a Spider-Man.
yeah.
Long arms, long legs,
Yeah, he's got a 7-foot+ arm span.
and he has 2 or 3 other brothers.
And yeah, and I mean.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, that's. But we're speaking of right now as we're going through this time. We just finished the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and everybody said, "Phew, I'm glad that's over with. Now we can go back to relaxing."
No, hockey's still on.
You say hockey. Oh, Tom, can you see those numbers out there?
Yeah.
Can you give those numbers?
Okay, the call-in numbers, folks, are 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, and 868-4336.
And so, family, if you want to join, and we're going to get into other things, we're just having a little fun at this point. And speaking of fun, we just finished the Super Bowl. And you know President Trump, number 45, went
Yeah.
all in against the NFL. And people were saying, wonder what's under his bird is making him itch the way he's doing to continue to challenge and to go at the NFL. Do you remember that time?
Yeah.
And so we're asking, was there something to this that you're trying to hurt this business that you were trying to compete with them years ago and you only lasted 1 year? They will not allow you to buy a franchise in the NFL. And all of a sudden now you became the person that was fighting against the NFL. You want to let them know they was doing some terrible things, some bad things, and people shouldn't go to the games. People shouldn't be, this and that, etc.
Well, me myself personally, I think that, as you referred to him with that P word in front of his name, he's not a president to me. When I read, I don't read president in front of his name, and I do not refer to him as president. But, to me, he showed where he came from in terms of, discrimination or being prejudiced. With Kaepernick, just because the man, and he had that right to do what he did, and all the other NFL players who supported Kaepernick by taking a knee during the national anthem. And, he wants to inject himself into something that he had absolutely nothing to do with.
Yes, but that was the jump-off point for him to let loose his venom
Yep.
for the people.
Right?
But there was something behind that. And I'll say this again, family. When he was running for president towards the end, I spoke about his background with the other football league that he tried to deal with, tried to start. Are you ready for some football? Are you ready for more football? Are you ready? No, you're not ready. You know why? Because all this stuff that's been going on with Trump, they have not had a chance to let you know about his other projects that he's been doing. You didn't hear about that. You have not been informed about that because the sports writers and the sports people, they're not telling you, didn't tell you what was actually going on. How is it that these, yeah, you're ready for some more football because there was just a football game the other day on TV. Not the NFL, but it was on TV. They've already got the stadiums. They've already got the employees. They've already got everything done. They've already got the uniforms. They've already got the players, the coaches, the general managers, the vice president, the owners, and everything already done. They're not saying we will. They're saying, are you ready for some more football? Oh, when Linda McMahon was appointed to President Trump, number 45, a cabinet appointee, I spoke about Vince McMahon, her husband. They're billionaires. And I spoke about Vince McMahon wanting to start a football league.
Okay.
Guess what? The football league has started. You've got 2 leagues that have started as we speak now. Each of those leagues have 8 teams. 8 teams. So that means that if you've got a son and maybe even a daughter with the way things are going, they don't have to worry about not making it to the NFL. They're talking about youngsters that's dropping out of college after 1 year or 2 years to go play sports. Well, now with these other two leagues, the NFL is going to be scouting those leagues. Players that's cut from the NFL will be signed by that league. Players that's coming out of college and couldn't make even the college team potentially can be signed up by those leagues. So there's a lot of jobs that are opening for football players. But the question is, Tom, will the character of these guys be questioned by this new league that is desperate to get players?
That's a good question. Football runs from, like, say, September up until February. This couple of Sundays ago, last Sunday, and that's a long time for a sport. And I know baseball lasts even longer. But are people that hungry for football that they're going to sit down and watch it? And I know the numbers, according to from what I've heard with the people viewing the NFL, has
But this is a whole different game. This is a whole different league. The rules are different. The audience is different. There are folks who tell you, I can't get enough football. And so this league and the application of this league is actually from a business perspective to make it so that we got all these coaches and folks that have been out of the league, can't get jobs, coaches from colleges burned out, got kicked out, but they are well received. So now they have these jobs again. They have this position of honor again. And we have people that will support this new concept. It's football.
Yeah,
But
that's
they've made
entertainment.
some rule changes.
Yeah.
They made some rule changes, so
Okay.
we'll see. And like I said, if you like the old league, the old time period, great, fine. But there will be some folks that's watching these new leagues. There will be some youngsters and some players that have been out of the league for some years that will go back and be able to earn some more money at the expense of now you're going to break your leg, break your knee, hurt your hip, take that shoulder out of the joint, can't put it back in. The toes is broken. Maybe your nose, well, your nose can get repaired. Okay?
Not too many times. Though.
But what about them concussions?
Yeah, yeah.
What
That's-
about them concussions? Because they will not be making the money like the NFL.
Oh no, heck no, no.
Okay, well, we have a caller here. Let's find out what's on my friend's name and what is your thoughts, please?
How are you gentlemen doing this morning?
Fine, and you?
Great. Thank you for calling.
I kind of like the competition myself.
The competition between the leagues or just the football
Yep.
in period?
But I don't like the NFL having a monopoly
Okay.
on sport.
Hey, bro, this is what I was kind of bringing it out to the perspective that regardless of how we look at it, and I'm pretty sure that the word collusion has been used on it many times. I'm sure that President Trump, number 45, has something to do with this, with the Leonard McMahon connection. Also, Mr. The quarterback Luck, his father is one of the franchise owner and leaders of the new league as well. But what we're saying here, and I'm gonna want you to give me some feedback. You've got all these youngsters that are almost made it to the NFL, got to the practice squad, got cut, got moved around as though they were meat, which they are. Don't have the money now. Kind of depressed. I know when I finished playing my college year and I thought I was going to be able to go to the pros and I didn't, it messed me up. I'm going to be truthful, about 2 or 3, 4 years. Mentally, I was messed up. But now, with this new league, 2 different leagues, as well as NFL, that means that all type of opportunities will open up for folks who said, man, I didn't want to give it up. But at 25, 26, 27, they won't give me a shot. They're now going to get a shot. And it's like those guys who go over in Europe and play in all those years, make that money, and come back. Well, now they're going to have a chance to make some money and live this dream still. What do you think about that, bro?
I agree. It opens up more options. That's it.
Yeah,
More opportunities.
yeah. And so,
And to be honest with you, I'd rather see Trump involved in football than the governing of this nation.
Well, he might screw football up the way he screwed up the
out.
nation.
One other thing, I heard they got a female football league starting in Detroit.
Oh, yeah,
in
they do
Michigan
have a
somewhere.
female football league.
wait, Tom was answering you. What did you say, Tom?
Yeah, they do have a female
I'm
football
looking forward
league.
to that one.
I remember I was attending a city council meeting this a few years back, and the team, the women's football team from here, basically they won the Super Bowl of that, a league,
Yes, yes.
and they won it more than once
Right,
too.
yeah.
Yes, I remember when I moved to Detroit in 2004, the women league that was being dominated was the women that was playing out of Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, some bad women. In fact, we have Renee, who works here, stepping out on faith. She has a daughter. Just made me think about that. She has a daughter that's playing on that tackle football league. Beautiful girl too.
Watch out.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Well, that's my input this morning. I have a good one.
Well, listen, I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Takes after mother. The jobs, all these jobs that are being cut back by General Motors and Ford, et cetera, and everybody is really worried about their situation, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
What is happening now is that there are some companies saying that they will, the thousands of fired employees laid off workers, that there is still going to be a plethora of jobs. Disney
Right.
is one to hire, and there are other companies. They're saying thousands of jobs are open for these folks. In fact, they're going to their human resources to put them on their list
Right.
because they don't have to have them to do cars. It's other things that they have skills that they want them to come to work for.
Right,
So
right.
there's hope, family members. There's hope that there is another alternative for folks who may be leaving the employment from the car manufacturers.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep your spirits up.
Could I comment a little
Please
bit?
do.
On,
Yes, you
You
can,
know,
sir.
in terms of, and this is my take on this. As I was telling another talk show host, I said, listen, I said, Mary Barra has been driving this Cadillac called GM for enough time to know that she's looked in the rearview mirror and doesn't want to see past practices catch up with them. Because, I mean, to this point, she's doing the cutting during times of prosperity rather than get to, bad times and you want to try and cut it to make it right. Because if GM ever, and this is my feeling, if they ever got to the point where they were back in 2006, 7, 8, when they tanked and, they had to go through bankruptcy, they're not going to be too big to fail this time. And instead of just losing the whole company, I don't like to see anybody lose a job. But the bottom line is, it's like going to war.
Well, they're going through the process
Yeah.
of changing over
Yep.
the process of what type of systems are going to be in the cars. So they're looking and saying, well, we don't need all of these folks at this particular point. Plus, we also have to look at the predictions about how the robots would be coming into these situations
Yeah,
and
the automation,
geared,
yeah.
yes,
Right.
to be able to make these cars more quickly, more efficiently than the human persons can. So it's one of those things that we kind of like heard about in the past about what was going to happen in the future.
And it's happening.
It's happening a little bit
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Charter meetings. And Tom, folks, if you want to get your telephone numbers, get your pen and your pad ready to take these numbers down because our telephones are working again. And Tom, would you give them those numbers, please?
Okay, and all the numbers I'm going to give you, they're all 313 area codes. It's 868-0342, 868-0351, and 868-4336.
Okay, now we've had conversations about the charter meetings, and the folks overall was not satisfied with the conduct or how the folks that was running the meeting were conducting themselves per se. Some folks said, well, give them a little time to get greater, better. What was your thoughts about that, Tom?
Well, my thought was this, there's been, like, say, a move to try and kind of split the charter and set up some people against other people. Folks, these 9 people have basically been elected. They put their life out there for 3 years. They've basically been elected to go through the charter. They're not going to change the whole charter, okay, but there are going to be some things in it they're going to change that's going to be for the overall benefit of the people, okay? And I mean, we've got to stop this nonsense about pitting, members against one another. I mean, I wish these folks nothing but the best in terms of what they want to do in terms of making things better for the residents of this city. But, you know, to sit there and want to split the charter, saying, well, these 4 against these 4, no, no, no. These 9 are in it for all of us. It's all for one and one for all. That's Tom Wilson's opinion.
That's Tom Wilson's opinion. And of course, Tom, just like look out in the audience, the family members, and I say to you, whatever your opinion, whatever your opinion, you stay with your thoughts because that's gold to you. And some of the top flight discussions have been when folks have had difference of opinions. If you watch many of the shows today, they will pit folks that have different opinions about many different things because that's called entertainment.
Right, right, right.
It's entertainment.
Get a little yin and yang.
Oh,
you know.
get a whole lot of yin and yang, and they need a little bourbon to settle them down, I think, or something. But that's entertaining, and we tune into those shows that people fighting each other back and forth and look like they want to get rough, but at the end they pop the knuckles together and it's all good. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to put on the show tomorrow for folks.
And it's like, you know, we don't have to, I mean, if I disagree with you, we don't have to get ugly about the disagreement. I mean, you've got your opinion and I've got mine. And maybe somewhere in the middle, it might be some middle ground where we can, you know, agree to some things. But, I mean, just to get out here and you just want to fight me and want to beat me up because of my opinion, I mean, you know, that's your opinion too. But, I mean, hey, in this game called politics, it all comes with the territory.
All comes with the
And
territory.
I mean, I'm a big guy. I mean, I wear some real good armor. And so be it.
Now, in going through, looking at and hearing about reports from the meeting, there seems to be some movement together, working more in an orderly fashion.
Okay.
And but we still have this tension, and we still have folks on the sideline that seems to feed into this tension.
Yeah.
This is a group of folks that will be put into the same arena for 3 years. It's not where you're going to just settle something right now.
Right.
And if I'm put into a pressure pot for almost 3 years and I'm being fed negativity by outside forces, that's actually kind of edging me to kind of push my views a little stronger than maybe I should. We're going to have some problems. We're going to have some problems. And when you are going through a process that these folks are receiving your information, these are the changes that we want to make. Tom, how can that be done in an orderly fashion, and what fashion is it that folks who are coming in mass and they have their own thoughts, how is that presented to the charter folk? And is it that the charter folks just listen to the people and write this down and then they discuss it among themselves, or do they give them immediate feedback?
Well, probably like some of all of the above. I mean, you know, when it's first done, yeah, you're going to get maybe some feedback. But I think in terms of, you know, coming to a conclusion, I believe they're going to take the information, all right, that the public, you know, gives them. They're going to go through and they're going to glean it, okay? And, you know, they'll come back at some time and they will have addressed that issue and says that, you know, okay, this is...
Is this per speaker that the charter commissioners are writing down what they're saying, or is it that they're listening and then they're talking about it, or is this something that they are writing down each suggestion from the community folk that are there speaking on the microphone, or is it that they may meet with some other folks who may give them some handwritten suggestions that at the next meeting they should bring up themselves? How does that work, do you think?
I'm pretty sure that, you know, these meetings are being recorded, because when you look at some of the comments that come from the audience, the participants, meaning we, the people that are there at the meetings, you know, to put it down on paper, which is a good thing, pretty sure it is, but it would be better to have, something, you've got a recorder there so you don't miss anything rather than sit there and
Do
try.
we have a recorder? Do we have an actual person that's recording the meeting now, or is this going to be just that the meeting itself is being recorded, and at some point they'll go back and look at it again?
Well, the meetings are recorded because I've seen the first one on television, so they've got a mechanism right there where they can look at and see how things went, and also in terms of what people have, like, say, presented to them. And sometimes even when people present things to them, they don't necessarily deal with it right there. They'll take the information and it's kind of like, and this is me saying this, they'll compartmentalize it, and they'll get together and they'll sit there and they'll go through the meeting, because I've heard it said by more than, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've heard it said by more than one charter commission member that we want to hear what the people have to say. They say, this
Okay,
is not about us.
So if the people are, if they're hearing what the people want them to understand,
Mm-hmm.
at what point do they take the suggestion of the people, and do they go through a discussion per suggestion at the meeting? And if they say that it's a violation of the Open
Meetings Act.
Meeting Act, if five of them get together and want to discuss what is being presented, how do they come to some type of understanding to hear what the people is presenting to them? How do they get a chance to discuss it among themselves to say, well, you know what? After we've discussed this, all 9 of us have heard what they're saying. This is our thought coming as a body. Or how is it, I'm trying to figure and trying to think, how is it that the Charter Commission folks come to determine what is acceptable from the suggestions of the people for them to proceed?
Well, on that matter right there, you would have to ask one of the people of the Charter Commission. You get it directly from the horse's mouth, because basically all I'm doing is I'm guessing, okay, in terms of what I think would probably be the process. But, all of those 9 people know in terms of what you just described, how the process is going to go. So rather than put me on the spot, bring one of the charter people in here, or maybe more than one, and let them answer that question.
Well, we can reach out and see if, why don't I make it a project to see if we can get the lady who is the chair,
Carol Weaver?
Carol Weaver.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, we'll reach out and find out each person, so that each person represent their own selves as their person on the charter, and see if we can't get them to talk individually to speak on their presentation or what they are representing as they are listening to the community.
Yeah, because this is going to be a 3-year process, folks.
Yes.
And, hopefully, just from that first meeting and what I saw happening there, I'm saying some of these folks are going to say, hey, I ain't getting paid for this, and these headaches.
Oh, but I'm getting paid because every time I have a meeting, I get a stipend.
Yeah, you get enough to buy double cheese, White Castle, that kind of thing. But, they're not making any, they're not going to be able to retire off the money they're making. So, but, if this contentiousness continues, and my word here, backbiting and all that kind of stuff continues, I mean, some of the people on there are attorneys. I know Barbara Winder's an attorney.
Mack.
Richard Mack's an attorney. I think the young lady, I can't grab her name right now. She's an attorney. But there's at least 3, if not more, on that charter who are attorneys.
And when you say these are attorneys, then they're not in a courtroom.
Right.
But you're saying they are attorneys to say what? Because they're attorneys, are they supposed to be better than the other folks?
Well, no, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but you've got a diverse group of people right there. You know, you got people, you got 9 of them. They're from different walks of life.
Okay, so essentially, the attorneys, in terms of what they bring to the commission, is that something different? Are they supposed to be able to proceed and make things greater, better than the activists, persons who are on the commission, or what?
Well, no, I'm not saying they're better than the activists or anything, but I mean, you know, you've got legal minds there who can, you know, rather than say like maybe to use that phrase, a common person like me, I would present something and they were saying, well, you know, wait, hold on, you know, according to law, you can't because of A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, you know, that kind of thing. So you get a different perspective.
Yet, when you say that,
Mhm.
and I'm not opposing that, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but so far, from what the couple of meetings, et cetera, they've had, uh, the lawyer or lawyer has not conducted themselves in a professional perspective, um, from what the folks are saying.
Yeah.
So, did they leave their lawsuit, get that lawsuit at the door?
No, you know, I think sometimes, and you know, there's a thing called Robert's Rules of Order,
It is.
and you know, everybody, quite naturally, you know, not everybody, but you know, some people are not familiar with Robert's Rules of Order.
I I
Mhm.
was the leader at my recreational center in the fifth, sixth grade, and the person that was running the club insisted that we get, and he provided us a copy of the Roberts Rules of Order,
Mhm.
and all of our meetings was conducted within the Roberts Rules of Order. So it's not something that is that difficult for you to understand, is what I'm getting at. So any one of those folks can get the Roberts Rules of Order and
Right.
understand how to proceed, is what I'm
As
saying,
well as the general public can get
as
the
well
rule
as the
book.
general public. So it's not anything really great. That
Right. It's nothing secretive.
It's not a secret. It's not that difficult to follow. It's just how to conduct a business in a
Right.
fashion that is orderly, with everyone going through a process of having the respect, both the people who are conducting the meeting
Mhm.
and the folks who are guests of the meeting.
Right.
Because essentially that's what you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Now, as we're moving forward, uh, and now they're looking at having places where they're going to have meetings,
Mhm.
and they're saying, well, maybe we need to move these places. I'm listening to some of the commissioners speak, so I'm not making these things up. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's good that the meetings are being moved around because sometimes if you just get to one place, whether it's centrally located in the city or not, it's still a good distance for some people to travel. And I mean, if you don't have a car, you know, and depending upon what time of evening it is and what have you, some of the bus routes don't, you know, they stop at a certain time, and I'll be corrected on that if I'm wrong. If you know, somebody wants to call and say, well, you know, all the bus routes are running 24/7. But you know, it's a good thing because, okay, like for instance, I'm a member of the 14th Congressional District, Sergeant at Arms and the bouncer, meaning that's what I am, and I'm an executive board member. We go in terms of the cut on the south. We go from the from the points. On the north, we go all the way out to Pontiac.
Okay,
And
but the process is that they're moving the different locations.
good, and that's a good thing.
And so it makes it easier for the different people in
E-
Detroit
e-
to get to the
exactly.
various meetings.
Exactly.
Okay. The folks that was holding the other meetings, I have not heard too much information about. Well, we had the commissioners here before.
Mhm.
They spoke about other folks having meetings that was educating folks about the charter.
Okay.
I have not heard any information or any conversations from anywhere about those particular meetings going on at this time. Have you?
No, I haven't either, and I know when I first started doing this, and they were with the charter people who were here, they were talking about they were 501c3
Yes.
organizations who were holding these meetings, and I mean I'm to the point of if you're holding a meeting about the charter commission, I mean other than the fact that okay, as I say, the charter is the Bible or the Constitution of the city. If you don't have a charter person there to basically explain, what the charter is, the charter commission is there for, I mean, you're kind of like just, to me, you're just blowing smoke, so to speak. But, and, and they can do that if
Wait,
they
so
want
you're
to.
saying if there is another group that's having meetings and they do not have a person from the Charter Commission at their meeting, you're saying that they're just blowing smoke?
I mean, other than the fact, like I said, other than the fact
I
that,
mean, I'm just trying to make sure I heard it correctly.
no, you heard it, you heard it correctly.
And so, how would they go about bringing in charter persons who are saying that our official meetings are held on these particular dates? We have no control over what you're doing. We have no understanding as to how you're trying to get folks to come up with what are you trying to tell folks this is what you want to say or ask when you come to the official charter meetings, or what? That's what we're trying to find out. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Well, I mean, if they're, like you say, these groups that are, supposedly holding these meetings about the Charter Commission, I'd say this, rather than have a charter person come to you, why don't they come to the meetings? That way they can get full, hand at what's going on, and you get to see all 9 charter members.
So if I'm a part of that group, I have my own reason, my own rationale, my own reasoning as to why I want to have a separate meeting from the Charter Commission folks.
Yeah, but you know what, though? There's not necessarily going to be anything that's going to come out of that in terms of what your ulterior motive is, in terms of how it's going to benefit your group. Because, I mean, I think it would be a bad move that, you're sitting there trying to, all right, plant a seed in my head to like maybe fix something in the charter where it would be beneficial to you and your group.
One of the commissioners stated that these particular meetings was to give education about the charter to the folk.
Okay.
And in giving this education to the folk about the charter, it is the charter as it is now written, correct?
Right, right.
And so what are they going to do? Are they going to go line item by line item in the chart and say, this is what's there, here's what we need to do to change that, here is our suggestion to make, as we're rewriting the charter, I think that we need to go through and take this out and replace it with this particular thought pattern or change in the rule?
Yeah, I mean, that's a suggestion. And I mean, that's something that they can, like you say, you put it in writing, you submit it to the charter for them to review.
Put it in writing, or am I having a person or group of people that I am developing what I call a lead person that can go into the charter commissioner meetings and insist that that we have discussed, that they would have discussed in the other educational meeting by the other folks that they say is sponsored by some folks with some finances, would this be a way for them to interject that thought to the people that are now in the charter commissioner meeting, the people, not the charter commission folks, to have them to pick up strength in getting that inserted into the minds of the folk and the charter commission persons to make sure that gets into the charter, the revised charter?
That's a possibility, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we're moving along, we're seeing the type of things that we're going to be watching out for. We're going to be looking for the other meetings, and we want to get more information about the other meetings. If I have to go out, I'll go out to bring you that information. We are looking at the, the thing that now is the setup for 2020. The setup is now for folks getting ready to decide on who is going to go after what job on the city council.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to start early. And
Yeah.
so we have some folk who are re-establishing themselves as a political consultant that are reaching out to get some folks that want to hire them to be their political guru.
Mm-hmm.
That's happening now. And it's going to be interesting to watch because is all leadership good leadership because they have a past as a leader?
No.
No? You see that?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Because some leadership is bad leadership, okay?
Okay, so even though it has a history, maybe bad, it may be a bad history getting ready to repeat itself?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to take a chance on it.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're going to have some interesting thoughts, some interesting situations, some things that we're going to be watching, some groups, some people,
Yep.
finding out, things that you say that you want to do, things that I read and say that I'm looking at and I'm able to read my writing or things I pulled up on my computer and put together. I can make it sound good. But am I a person that have the tact to lead folk in the proper direction and keep them together? That becomes the question as we're moving forward, as we're watching these folk who are wanting to be leaders. And I wish them nothing but the best
Yep.
in their quests to help this community get greater, better. That's what it's about. And we are going to watch you very, very closely, engage with you. And Talk B. Jones is going to be the place that people will talk about what is really, really going on. Not the cheddar, not the tail in your muffler pipe. That was wrong.
That was banana in the muffler pipe.
Yeah, okay. I was putting a tail in the muffler pipe. Well, family, it's been wonderful discussing, having these particular openings as we are talking about rebooting the Talk B. Jones in a fashion that is going to be entertaining, informative, and interactive on the TV33 cable channel 91, Roku box, Apple, Fire Stick, and all the other good modalities, of course, your telephone. And we want you to let your folks know every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. we're here live. And, of course, you'll be able to watch us at different other times. But with that, I believe, Mr. Tyler, I believe that I'm going to see if I can't go out here and find somebody to help me find my head again, my mind again. This is hard work, but I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Tell me any last words from you.
Well, as Al Green says, call me, pick up the phone, folks, next week, and dial the 7 digits and express yourself.
And love can make you do right, and love can make you do wrong. Family, and we do love you. And if you have a question or process of something that you need to talk to me about, 313-412-3111. That number again is 313-412-3111. This has been Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy Jones. And to all my friends and fans out in California, love you. Y'all take care. Bye now.
Bye.
This is the Talk Beat Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones.